Hi grade 12s, I hope you are doing good and having a productive academics. Now let's check something. Today we are going to focus on what? Today we are going to focus on calculus. Let's check the question that we have today on our board. It says to us, the function g of x is equals to ax squared plus b over x has a minimum value at x is equals to 4. Then it says to us the function value at x is equals to 4 is 96. Then the question is calculate the values of what? Of a and b. Now before going deep into this, let's check something. Let's check this second statement. The function value at x is equals to 4 is 96. In other words, my friends, they took x is equals to 4 and substitute it into my what? Into my function and got what? 96. It means x is what? Is 4 and the corresponding y value is what? Is 96. The coordinate form of this will be what? Will be 4 and the corresponding y value which is what? Which is 96. All they did is to substitute 4 where they see x into the function and they got what? They got 96. Meaning, my friend, I will say 96 is equals to what? 96 is equals to a. We said where they see x, they substitute what? They substitute what? 4. Meaning I will have what? 4 squared plus b over 4. Meaning as I'm simplifying this will be what? This will be 96, which is equals to, what is 4 squared? 4 squared is equals to 16. 16 multiplied by a is what? Is 16a. Plus what? Plus b over what? Plus b over 4. All I need to do is to further simplify my equation. Remember something, I will take this what? This 16a to this other side, but everything that jumps the equal sign changes the sign. It means this 16a, it will change the sign from being positive to being negative. This will be what? This will be 96 minus 16a, which is equals to b over 4. As I check here, I have equal sign and I have fraction over 1, which is equals to b over what? B over 4. All I need to do is to do what? Cross multiply. Meaning this will be 4 multiplied by whatever that is on my left hand side, and this will be what? B multiplied by 1. It means, my friend, I have what? I have 4 multiplied by what? Multiplied by 96 minus 16a. This is equals to what? This is equals to b multiplied by positive 1, which is what? Positive b. All I need to do now is to simplify my brackets. It means I will say 4 multiplied by 96 is what? Is 384. And then I say positive 4 multiplied by negative 16a. Remember something, positive multiplied by negative is what? Is negative. Meaning 4 multiplied by minus 16a will be what? Will be minus 64a, which is equals to what? Which is equals to b. It means I can say that this is equation number 1, this is equation number 1. Let's go to the first statement. The first statement, it says to us, this function has a minimum value at x is equals to 4. Remember something, let's say I'm given a function y is equals to what? F of x. Then they say to us, calculate the values of x for which this function will be at its minimum or maximum. It says to us, calculate the values of x for which this function will be at its maximum or what? Or minimum. All I need to do is to do a first derivative and equate to 0 and solve for those x values. I repeat, all I need to do is to do what? First derivative and equate to 0 and solve for x. Meaning, as I'm calculating those x values, I will say what? F prime of what? F prime of x. F prime of x is what, my friend? F prime of x is the first derivative. This is going to be equals to what? Equals to 0, because I'm equating my first derivative to 0 to solve for those x values that will give me the minimum or the maximum. It means even here, my friend, for them to get this x is equals to 4. Remember, at x is equals to 4, we have a minimum value, meaning they did a first derivative on this function and equate it to 0 and solve for x. The x that they got is what? Is 4. Me and you, what we will do is to what? Is to reverse the process. Meaning, my friend, I will take what? I will take my function g of x is equals to ax squared plus b over what? Over x, and derive it and equate to 0. But where I see x, I must substitute what? I must substitute 4. It means I will say what? I will say g prime of x, which is equals to, remember when we are deriving, all we need to do is to do what? Is to say exponent multiplied by coefficient, exponent minus 1. I repeat, we say what? Exponent multiplied by coefficient, exponent minus 1. Let's check something. Let's do a quick example. Let's say I'm giving y is equals to 2x squared. I'm repeating, we say exponent multiplied by coefficient, exponent minus 1. In this case, what is my exponent? My exponent is 2. What is my coefficient? My coefficient is 2. It means I will say exponent multiplied by coefficient, which my first derivative of y will be what? 2 multiplied by what? By 2, which is equals to what? 4x. And then I go back and say exponent minus 1. It means I will have what? 2 minus 1, which is equals to 4x to the power of what? To the power of 1. Let's make another example, my friend. Let's say I'm given what? I'm given y is equals to 3x squared minus 6x. Then they say to me, do a first derivative. I repeat, all we need to do is to say exponent multiplied by coefficient, exponent minus 1. Here on the first component, what is what? 4x, and then I go back and say exponent minus 1. It means I will have what? 2 minus 1, which is equals to 4x to the power of what? To the power of 1. Let's make another example, my friend. Let's say I'm given what? I'm given y is equals to 3x squared minus 6x. Then they say to me, do a first derivative. I repeat, all we need to do is to say exponent multiplied by coefficient, exponent minus 1. Here on the first component, what is my exponent? My exponent is 2. What is my coefficient? My coefficient is 3. I will say 2 multiplied by what? 2 multiplied by 3, of which this will be what? 6. And then I go back to the exponent and say exponent minus 1, meaning this will be x to the power of 2 minus 1. In this case, what is my exponent? My exponent is 1. What is my coefficient? My coefficient is minus 6. It means I will say 1 multiplied by negative 6, of which is minus 6. And then I will go back to the exponent and say 1 minus 1, because we say exponent minus 1. This is going to be 6x to the power of 1 minus 6x to the power of 0. But we know any number to the power of 0 is equals to 1. This is going to be 6x minus 6. Now let's use this process in our function and derive our function and get the first derivative. This is going to be what? G prime of x, which is equals to ax squared plus b over what? Plus b over x. Sorry, my mistake, we are deriving. This is going to be g prime of x, which is equals to what? 2, because 2 is my exponent in this case, multiplied by coefficient. What is the coefficient? The coefficient is a, meaning I will say 2 multiplied by a, which is equals to what? 2a x to the power of 2 minus 1. Plus, let's remember something. B over x is the same as saying what? B multiplied by x to the power of negative 1. In this case, my exponent is minus 1. My coefficient is what? Positive b. Meaning I will say minus 1 multiplied by b, which is what? Which will be minus b x to the power. I go back to the exponent and minus 1. This is going to be negative 1 minus 1, which is x to the power of minus 2, and equate it to what? To 0. But remember, where I see x, I must substitute what? X is equals to 4. This is going to be what? This is going to be 2a multiplied by what? By 4 to the power of 1 minus b multiplied by 4 to the power of negative 2. This is equals to what? 0. And then I say 2 multiplied by 4, which is equals to what? 8 multiplied by 8 is 8 minus b over 16, because 4 to the power of negative 2, as soon as this 4 becomes a denominator, its exponent will change the sign. Remember, the exponent was negative 2, meaning as soon as I make 4 to be the denominator, this will be 4 to the power of 2, which is b over what? Over 16 is equals to what? Is equals to 0. But I will take this minus b over 16 to this other side. Let's remember something. Everything that jumps the equal sign changes what? Changes the sign. This will be what? This will be 8a, which is equals to b over 16. And then I will do what? Remember, I have equal sign, I have fraction. All I need to remember is cross multiply. This will be 16 multiplied by 8a, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 128a, which is equals to b, because I said b multiplied by 1. Then this can be equation number 2. We are still carrying on with calculating the values of a and b. I have equation number 1 and equation number 2. But let's check something about our equations. We see that 128a is equals to b. And we see that 184 minus 64a is equals to b. It means these equations will be equal because they are both equals to what? To b. It means I will take what? I will say 128a, which is equals to 184 minus 64 minus 64a. As I can see in my equation that the unknown is a only, meaning I need to make a subject of the formula. I remember I have what? Minus 64a. I will take minus 64a to this other side of the equation because it has its siblings. Let's check something. This is going to be 128a plus 64a, which is equals to 384. What is 128 plus 64? I think it's 196, but let's double check. 128 plus 64, 192. It means I have 192a, which is equals to 384. And then, my friend, remember I need to make a subject of the formula, which means that I need to divide by 192. But what you do on the left hand side, you also do it on the right hand side. This is going to be divided by 192 divided by 192. Then this one, you cancel this one. On my left hand side, I'm left with what? I'm left with a, which is equals to, what is 384 divided by 192? This is 2. Meaning, my friend, the value of a is 2. But I'm not done. The question said to us, calculate the values of a and b. Meaning, I need to calculate the value of what? Of b, as I've calculated the value of a. What you can do, you can either go to equation 2 or equation 1 and substitute the value of a. It will give you the same answer. But for now, let's use this simple equation, 128 multiplied by a is equals to b. It means where I see a, I will substitute what? To the value of b will be what? B is equals to 128 multiplied by what? By 2. This is equals to, let's double check using the calculator, multiply by 2. This is 256.